the spread of COVID-19. But a charity is warning that 14,500 people will be on the streets again by July. Crisis told 5 News it could amount to a perfect storm for homeless people, as Ruth Libtrot reports.
For Elise, losing her job at the beginning of lockdown was a massive kick in the teeth. She's been homeless in the past, and her job in a shoe kiosk played a major part in her getting her life back together. So what was she most afraid of when her boss was forced to close?
Paying my bills, because if I can't pay my bills, where am I going to live? And it does take a toll on your mental health, because then you start thinking about things, and then you start thinking about different situations and how you can possibly try and get money for this, but you can't, because there's no jobs going because of COVID-19.
Luckily, the homeless charity Crisis were able to help her negotiate a delay in paying her rent, but she'll need to pay back the arrears when her housing benefit finally comes through. Crisis has also given her food vouchers so she can eat. Others, however, have found themselves in a very different situation. These pictures show homeless people queuing for food handouts at the beginning of lockdown. And while a lot of people who were already homeless have been temporarily housed during the pandemic, at this soup kitchen in Ealing, they're talking to many others who've become newly homeless.
In the last couple of weeks, we've seen people who are becoming homeless, and they're phoning us up and sort of saying, I didn't think this would ever happen to us. And actually quite a few of them are people who surprisingly used to give financially to us in the past. You know, there were people who used to support us, and now we're supporting them.
And what Andrew sings borne out by what Crisis has found too.
Over half of homelessness organisations that we've spoken to have seen increases in levels of homelessness and demand for their services. And that's things like people losing their job or looking forward, people who are very insecure in their jobs. It's things like people who were sofa surfing, and that's become much more difficult, much more pressurised with coronavirus. So you can see there will be more people becoming homeless, again, unless we take the actions that are needed.
The charity feels getting so many people off the streets during lockdown has been incredible progress. It now wants assurances that we won't be in an even worse position than before when this is over. Ruth Libtrot, 5 News.
Well, we've asked the Department for Work and Pensions for their response to our story, and they told us the government has put in place an unprecedented package to help prevent people getting into financial hardship or rent arrears. This has included support for businesses to pay staff salaries and the strengthening of the welfare safety net. Coming up on 5 News, say